A summit in Moscow set for February. Trade credits to help feed the Soviets this winter. And a policy change in college tuition for minorities. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. Saying instability inside the Soviet Union is not in the best interest of the United States, President Bush today cleared the way for a bargain sale of American grain to help Mikhail Gorbachev get through the winter. President Bush also announced plans to go to Moscow for a delayed summit with Gorbachev. Tentative new dates, February 11th through the 13th. White House correspondent Wyatt Andrews has their story.
The announcement of another superpower summit remarkably took back seat today to an even more stunning turnaround from the days of superpower rivalry. Today, the President of the United States guaranteed $1 billion worth of food aid to a hat-in-hand Soviet Union.
That I am prepared to respond to a Soviet request for credit guarantees for purchase of agricultural commodities. I want perestroika to succeed. The Soviet Union is facing tough times.
The Soviet foreign minister, clearly worried about famine and unrest in his country, couldn't say thank you enough.
We very much appreciate the president's decision, and I'm sure that everyone in the Soviet Union will welcome and appreciate that decision. There is certain instability in the Soviet Union, and that we are worried about that. That's a fact.
Food credit for the Soviet Union has for 16 years been taboo in U.S. foreign policy. The U.S. had no wish to feed an enemy. The Soviets were too proud to ever ask. And a legal barrier, the Jackson-Vanik Amendment, denied food credits until the Soviets loosened emigration policies. Now, with an average of 13,000 Soviet Jews leaving every month, the administration decided to waive food restrictions just long enough to prevent widespread starvation.
I think the president's action is proper. The Soviet Union has liberalized immigration very dramatically.
This is the right thing to do. I think the Soviet Union is going through a time of great struggle and trial.
To critics, the chief risk of sending food to Gorbachev is that it will help him postpone reform instead of speeding it up.
We should not use this as a first step towards massive financial aid or even agricultural aid in any kind. That would essentially be so large that it would bail out the system and stop the road towards reform.
Food aid combined with a February arms control summit are both designed to help prop up Gorbachev in his time of need, but also to reward Gorbachev for his help in the Gulf. Despite official denials that this is any payoff, the Bush team never found this level of charity until after Gorbachev came down hard on Saddam Hussein. Dan?
Thanks, Wyatt. And joining us now is our CBS News consultant on the Soviet Union, Professor Stephen Cohen of Princeton University. Good evening, Steve. Thanks for being with us. Investing in this aid, who's going to benefit the most?
Dan, I don't think it's any one person. Speaking as someone who's studied the Soviet Union for 25 years and lived there so often, I feel certain that this is an investment in the possibility of some kind of democracy in the Soviet Union. Russia is a country that's never had democracy in a 1,000-year history, and for the first time there's a chance of that, and that, I think, is what we're investing in.
What's the impact going to be? Will it really make a difference?
Well, it'll make some difference. There are people in need today, the old, people on fixed incomes, the poor, young, but there are going to be more than one winter of discontent in the Soviet Union. This is going to be a long process, 3, 4, 5 hard winters ahead, and if we're going to help, we've got to think in terms of that many years, I think.
Enough to save Gorbachev's position, or is he a goner?
Well, no, he's not a goner. I think that'd be a mistaken point of view, but this thing cuts two ways, Dan. On the one hand, for those people who say that Gorbachev's reforms has brought them only misery, it will help him in their eyes. But we see already, yesterday in the Soviet press, when word of this got out, a backlash, his right-wing opponents saying that he's humiliating Russia, that he's turning the Soviet Union into a beggar nation in world affairs. This is humiliating, and they don't like it.
What are the chances that this money will actually get down to the people who need it?
Well, that's a good question, Dan. You know, there's a lot of talk that the government can't distribute its own harvest, so what's the point of giving them anything? The point here is that the distribution mechanism has broken down from the grassroots up to the top, but the mechanism from the top down is still intact. Some will be lost, as it always is in such a situation, to the black market, but I think the government can distribute it, at least to the people who need it.
Steve Cohen at Princeton, thanks.